Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is Fun Stuff Friday and today we have the Grizaye colored pencils. They are a premium velvet touch 72 count colored pencil set. I have them in a wrap that was sent to me by Grizaye because it took forever for these to arrive. I did purchase these with a gift card that was given to me for my birthday from Amazon Tammy. And they're a really nice pencil. They are an oil-based pencil. They are a hexagonal pencil. Let's see what other information is here. There's a 3.8 millimeter core, that sort of thing. And as you can see, it has a great selection of colors. I'm going to open up the wrap here. Now, what happened is Grizaye sent these, Amazon sent these through the USPS Postal Service. When I received them, as you can tell with the box, it was in an envelope. And the box, they did wrap it quite nicely. However, it took almost a month to get here. So it was beaten up and bashed around the USPS, United States Postal Service, for a very long time, way longer than it should have been. So it was banged up a little bit. I did have some breakage, but, and as you can probably tell from up here, excuse me, they were shaken up pretty good. So I did end up with a few cores broken. So I contacted Grizaye, and because I hadn't received them yet when I did finally contact them. And he said, yeah, it's been too long. And he did look it up for me and did contact people for me, which was awesome. The customer service for the company is fantastic through the Amazon. So he did look it up for me and told me that there was finally movement on it and that I should receive them within the next day or two, which I did. And he said, for your troubles, we'll send you a wrap to hold all your pencils in. And I had a choice between gray or white. And you can purchase these wraps on the Grizaye website, as well as the open stock pencils, because these are open stock, and you can purchase the open stock pencils on the Grizaye website as well. So I have them in number order, which is in rainbow order. So we go from reds to our oranges, pinks, into our yellows, greens, blues, purples, browns, and then into our blacks, grays, and whites. So it is in color order as per the rainbow order, and that's in their numeric order. So that's the way I just kept them in that. So because it just looked pretty in the wrap, to be honest, and it's so much easier to look for the number than the name, and because of the fact that the name is so far up the pencil, I'll show you on a dark one here. So I'll switch you over to the close-up camera. And as you can see here, the name is way up here, which is this much away from the end of the pencil. So if you are like me and use your pencils until they are toasted, that's the only thing you're going to see at the end of the pencil, because this part of the pencil is where you're going to be able to reach in with your pencil extender. So having that number in order makes a difference. I'm glad that they are named and numbered, because sometimes it's very difficult to, like I said, sometimes it's difficult to see the names. Sometimes the names get sharpened off and that sort of thing. Let's switch back over here. I have, of course, completed the swatch. So, grab your coffee, sit back, relax. We'll look at the swatch, and then we'll do some testing, and we'll play with them a little bit and see how they are. Like I said, they are a 72 set. They are rather expensive for a 72 set at this point. When I did first find them and put them on my wish list, they were much cheaper. But the fact that they are open stock does soften that blow a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to switch on over to the swatch. Like I said, it will run for about 3 to 5 minutes, give or take. So sit back, relax, enjoy your coffee, and I will be right back. All right, so that wasn't too bad. All right, so we have our, like I said, we have it in rainbow order. So we go from our reds into our orange and peach tones, then into our pinks, then into our yellow tones, our orange yellows into our yellows. And then we have our greens. So we've got our yellow greens and then our blue greens. And then we have the aquatic kind of colors there. And then our blues. So we go from the aquatics into the medium tones and bright tones into the dark tones. Now this one here, I don't like where it's at because it is way too purple to be there. I would rather it be on the other side of 49. Same with 50. 47 and 50, I would rather be on the other side of 51 here. But, you know, they do have a purple hue in these two. This one's grape and this one's violet blue. So they do have that violet in it, but this one here really should be on the other side of indigo. I do like the dark color of indigo. I'm really quite impressed with that. It reminds me of all the other indigo blues instead of it being a purple tone. And then we go into our purples, into our pink purples, our red browns, and then into our darker browns. Now, black I would prefer to see on the other side of charcoal here, but again, I understand why it's there. I just don't like it there, personally. And then, of course, we've got our grays and into our whites. Now, this box was black, so that white is very opaque. So those are our colors that are available. Like I said, they are numbered as well as named. So I do have the names and numbers on the chart. I'm going to switch you over to the close-up camera so you can see that a little bit better. Each number is named, each pencil is number and named. And as you can see here, quite a wide selection of color that goes very well together. It is only a 72 set. I really do wish that they had a larger set. The one thing that I did notice when I was putting down the color on the swatch chart is the ones that I hadn't sharpened yet seem to be a little waxy. So I think that there is a coating on them. Of course, you will have to sharpen that off to get the best results. All right, so we're going to flip this over and we're going to put our circles down for our fun stuff here. So we're going to do our water test first. So we're going to put a circle. So we need 3 circles for our water test, as well as 3 circles for our smudge test. And I am going to do the circle test, the circle blend for the 3 color blend, but I will not do it for the rainbow blend. I did find that to be a little bit more difficult to show the rainbow blend in the circle. So we'll do that with a line. Okay, so there we have our water and our smudge. And then we're going to do a circle for our 3 color blend. So let's do this one. And then we'll do a line for our rainbow. And then I've got schmutz on my thing from doing stuff with it yesterday. And I didn't wash it off because, yeah, I was lazy. So then we have our blenders. So we've got the blender pencil as well as white. Okay, so we've got 3 color blend, rainbow blend, blender pencil, and white blend. So this is colorless. And I'll write which one works or which one we use underneath. All right, so now we need to pull the color. So we need, let's see, let's turn this over. So we need number 3, number, they don't have one that just, oh, number 38, they do. And number 23. So we need number 3, 23, and 38. That's easy. And it's so much easier to do that if you have them all in numeric order. If you have them all number-wise all over the place, then it doesn't make it very easy. So I'm going to sharpen these and we'll take a look at the sharpen. So as you can see, sharpens into a very, very nice sharp tip. There is a bit of a residue that comes off, so make sure you wipe off your pencil. So that's the red. No breakage. And this is the hand crank sharpener. I've just had to turn it 2 full rotations to get that sharp, nice point. And I like a nice sharp point on my pencils when I use them, so just checking to see if there's any color in the lead, which there is not. All right, so there is our colored pencils. So we've got blue, yellow, and red. So we're going to put down our red first. And again, I do this the same way I color. I'm going to fill in the circle with the right amount of layers to completely cover the white. And then I will move on to the next one. So as you can see, even with one layer, it fills it in quite well. So this is not a pencil that's going to require lots and lots of layers to get a good saturation, but they do seem to blend really well together when you layer them. I am getting a little bit of dusting. What I call dusting is little remnants of pencil on the page, either by lift off of going over it a whole bunch or little bits of pencil that flakes off of the lead as you're coloring. So there is a little bit of that. So I'm going to brush that off. And that's a fairly good saturation. Now it's not completely saturated. I can still see white spot, but that's okay. I'm going to go with it. Because, yeah, otherwise I'd be here all day. Because I don't like white spot. And I don't want to press hard on these pencils because they are an oil-based pencil. So pressing harder on them instead of layering them up will just press the paper down so you can't get any other colors on top of it. The harder you press with an oil-based pencil, the more you mash down the tooth of the page instead of getting the pigment off of the pencil. So it is better to use light layers and build that color up. Where with a wax pencil you can press a little bit harder, they're a little bit softer, and you can press color into color, which you can't really do with an oil base. Alright, and this one here is blue. Again, a little bit of dusting there, not as much as the red, but this is just the first go around. And I can see it on the tip of the lead, so again, just doing it very lightly, building that color up. I turn my pencil as I'm coloring to ensure that I maintain a pointed tip instead of one side is dull and one side's not, an uneven tip. So I turn my pencil to maintain that even tip. All right, so that is all three of those colors down. So now we're going to grab a water brush. Okay, I just had it. There it is. It's like, I know I just had that brush. All right, so this is wet, as you can see on my hand. Well, maybe not, but it is wet. Honest, it is. All right, so we're going to take our brush and we're going to gently see if we can move that color. And it does move. Not a whole lot, but it does move. And do the same thing with the yellow. And the yellow does move as well. Again, not a whole lot. And the blue moves a little bit too. So because these do move a slight amount, you don't see it very well there. So I'm just going to tip that up so you can see it a little bit better. So as you can see, there is color movement there. Like I said, it's not a ton, but I do suggest that if you're going to use a water-based product on top of these pencils, that you blend it first and get that wax seal or that loose open pigment blended into the page before you put your stickles or gel pen or whatever on top, unless it's a clear and you want it to pick up a little bit of that color, because it's not going to pick up a huge amount of it with the amount that moved. So it's not a huge concern, but it is one that you may find difficulty with if you spray it with a heavy amount of spray, or if you use a large amount of water products such as watercolor for your backgrounds, that sort of thing. You may see some movement in the pencil. All right, so we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to do a smudge test. The reason why I do a smudge test is because I rest the side of my hand on my page as I'm coloring, and I do have a lot of oils in my skin and a lot of acidic levels in my skin, and I know this. So when I go back and forth over top of some pencils, I have a tendency to smudge that pencil with my hand. Now, I could avoid this by putting on a glove. Do I do that? No. Do I remember to do that? No. Um, and that's the main reason why I don't, is because I never remember. I don't half the time know where it is, or half the time remember to put it on my hand. If I am using a pencil that I know smudges really heavily, I will either put a piece of paper down under my hand in the area that the pencil is, like for example if I'm using Prismas, or I'll blend that area before I move on to the next area. All right, so we've got our good layer there. And dust it off to make sure that there's no remnants. I'm not saying that a pencil that smudges for me is going to smudge for you, because like I said, I know what chemical makeup I have in my skin. And I know that my skin will put out chemicals or put out, perspiration that will break down and move a pigment. So, because I know that, I do a smudge test. If you have the same issue with some pencils where you're coloring along and you look down and you've got the entire area coated in pencil that you did not color, you may want to do smudge tests with your pencils as well. Again, if I know that a pencil is a smudging pencil, I do try to avoid that situation. Sometimes I don't succeed. Sometimes I just forget about it, and then I go, oh crud, but that's the reason for this test. And typically when we do our collection selection Saturday, I will look and see if I've done the testing on the back. And if I have not, then we will do the testing on Monday View. So I'm always aware for each set that we use during the week or the months, which pencils are smudgy and which ones are water resistant and that sort of thing. But I do find that in the throes of concentration, I do sometimes forget. So my hand is clean, and as you can see, that definitely moved, and my hand did pick up a little bit of the red. The yellow as well, and so does the blue. So again, it does smudge, so I don't know if you can see it. Try to make it, there you go. So as you can see, it does move. It doesn't move a huge amount, but it does move. All right, so I'm going to keep our red, yellow, and blue for our rainbow blend, but I'm going to grab some pinks because I like doing the three color in pinks for some reason. I don't know why. I just really like pink. So I'm going to use number 12, 13, and 14 for this. And I'm going to sharpen these. So as you can see, some are already sharpened, and that's because that tip was broken when it came in. But these two need to be sharpened. When I did pull the tips that were broken off, I did notice that they are a bonded core. So they do feel like they have glue all the way down the core of the pencil, which does make it easier to still work with a lead that broke in the barrel. All right, so our lightest is number 12. Our darkest is number 14. So we're going to start with number 14, which is a bubble gum. And again, this is a layering pencil. We are not going to smash these together to get our blend. We're going to build those layers up to build into that blend. So I'm just putting down a good layer of the dark here. Making sure I put in a tail for that next color to blend into. Now the reason for this test is to verify whether or not the colors will make a gradient blend. Moving from one color to the next. In a manner where you can't see the edges of the first color, so that you get that smooth transition between the three colors. All right, and then we've got the lightest color. So that one was number 13, which is pink, and this one here is number 12, which is blush. And this is just the first layer. We will be adding more layers. So we're going to start with the blush. We're going to go into the pink with our next layer. See how many layers this will take. And then into the pink. And like I said, you can put a little bit of pressure on these. However, you do get a better blendability of them with a lighter touch to build that color up and blend it together so that those colors meld together in different layers. Okay, I'm going to come down into where that darker pink is, where the bubble gum starts, and then we're going to do the bubble gum. Blending it into that pink. Then we're going to dust that off. And then we're going to go back to the pink. Blend that into the bubble gum. And this will be the last layer that we need by the looks of it. Now there's not a dramatic amount of difference between the bubble gum and the pink. And then we have our blush. So they do blend together quite nicely. I'm getting a smooth transition between the three colors. There's not a lot of color difference between the three of them, but you can definitely not see any huge amounts of transition lines between the three colors. You can see a difference, but they're very easy to transition together. So yeah, they blend very, very well. So that is our three color blend, and I think it's a successful three color blend. So our rainbow blend, we're going to start with our red. Now with rainbow blend, what I'm trying to accomplish is go from red into yellow into blue. When the red and the yellow intertwine, I hope to make orange. Where the blue and the yellow intertwine, I hope to make green. So I'm going to do darker over here. I'm going to leave that tail there for the yellow, and we will go back and forth and build that orange up. So I'm going to start back here with the yellow because I need to have it not compromised with the red for the blue. So we're going to put this down for the blue to go into. And I should have brought the red out a little bit more than that. I put it a little further away than I should have. So then we're going to do our transition here. All right. And then we're going to come into that with the yellow. And then we're going to go over it with the red. And then the yellow, because like I said, with this kind of pencil, you're building that color. Now, if you don't want it to be a dark color and you want it to be a lighter color, then you just continue with the yellow, pushing into that red. I'm picking up some of the red because I put a little bit too much pressure on it. That's my fault, but it did definitely make that orange. All right, so let's finish up the red here. And like I said, you can definitely put the pressure on these pencils and fill in the color very quickly. The only thing I do warn or caution people about with doing that is, like I said, the harder you press, the more you're going to lose ability to build color on your page. So now we're going to go in and do the green and the blue. All right, so I've done 2 layers of that. I'm going to make sure I don't have any red on my yellow. And we're going to do a third layer of the blue. And the more layers that you add, the darker the color becomes. So like I said with the orange, if you want it to be a more of a red orange, use more red. If you want it to be a more of a yellow orange, use more yellow. Same with the green. If you want it to be a dark green, use more blue or a darker blue. If you want it to be a lighter green, use a lighter blue and a bright yellow. And as you can see, we can definitely say we've got a green orange blend with the red, yellow, and blue. So we definitely have a transitional rainbow there. So we've got red, orange, yellow, green, blue. So I think the rainbow definitely works. All right, now we're going to do, let's see, let's do green, just because. So we're going to take these three, I think. Okay, obviously went too far. I want the brighter ones here, I think. So that's, oh yeah, okay. Interesting. So we have lime, leaf, and grass. So 25, 26, and 27. So we're going to start with lime. It's supposed to be the lightest. Let's see. Oh, it actually is. It actually is. So we're going to start with our lightest. And we're going to... It's actually very interesting because the lead itself looks quite dark in comparison to the other colors. Now I'm not going to tail into each other very much because I want the blender to move those. Now because these are an oil-based pencil, I will use the Derwent blender for part of it and the Caran d'Ache blender for another part to see which ones work better. I do usually find that the Derwent blender works better on oil-based pencils because it is stated for an oil-based blend. So the next color that we're going to use is number 26, which is grass. I'm going to quickly sharpen it here because it hasn't been sharpened yet. I don't know how they think these are lighter than each other, but okay. It just doesn't look lighter than the next one that's coming up. So this is grass, and we're going a little bit into the lime. And the lime is the lightest. And there we have our grass color. I'm not worried about the white spot because, like I said, we're going to use a blender which will fill in that white spot. And then we have leaf. I didn't think so. Oh well, that's alright. We're still going to be able to figure out if the blender works on them. I thought the leaf looked like it was way lighter than all the rest. So it should have gone leaf, lime, and then grass. I'm looking at the pigment of the tip and I'm going, yeah, that doesn't look right. On the box it looks like they're in order, but they're off slightly. All right, so there we go. There are our three colors. I'm going to dust that off. Sorry about that. And I'm going to take the blender pencil and we're going to, this is the Derwent blender, and we're going to blend this together like so. And we're going to blend that transition here. So it does blend quite nicely with the Derwent blender. There is a little bit of pickup on it. So what that means is there is a bit of dust that is coming off the blender and possible pickup of the pigment, but they are blending together. All right, and then we have our little bitty one. Where are you? Then we have our Caran d'Ache blender here, which is a wax-based blender. And as you can see, it's picking up a lot more of the pigment and peeling off a lot more of the blender. So I would definitely suggest using the Derwent blender. It's a little bit of a smoother blend. The Caran d'Ache blender did blend them, did eliminate the white spot. However, it did lift quite a bit of this color off. So I would definitely suggest that. Now we're going to do a white blend here, and I'm going to just grab a couple of darker colors here. I'm going to put these back in their slots. So I'm going to grab some purples, I think. Let's grab some dark colors here. I'm going to grab purple, violet, and Parma. So we're going to start with purple. I'm going to trust my eyes this time instead. And I'm going to sharpen this. And we are also going to grab our white pencil for the blend. Now I am not going to sharpen the white pencil. I want it to have that dull end. And just so you know, with blending with a white pencil, of course your colors are going to dull down quite a bit. So remember that even though you have used a bright or dark color, if you blend with a white pencil and it's very opaque like this one is, you will find that your colors look very dull. And that's because of the pencil. Unless your pencil is translucent, like most white pencils, you will get a white coating on top, which will dull down your color. All right, so we're going to start with violet. And like I said, I'm not going to worry about the white spot as much because the blender should pick up some of the color and blend it into each other. However, I am going to fill it in the same way I would if I was coloring before I would use a blender. Now, the one thing with blenders is you do have to make sure that you have enough pigment on the paper. You know, if you find that in order to cover the paper with enough pigment it's too dark of a color, use your white as your blender just to tone that down. Because of course the more pigment on the page you put, the darker the color is going to be. However, another thing is, make sure that you're using the right color. If it's too dark for what you wanted it to be, you may want to adjust that with a lighter color. Just touching into the purple or the violet with the purple. And again, getting as enough pigment on the page to allow the blender to work, or the blending to work, and not worried about the white spot. And then Parma, sorry, had to blow that out of the way. And Parma is technically lighter than the purple, but the purple has a little bit more red in it, where the Parma has more blue. So the purple probably wasn't the best one to choose for that. All right, so now we're going to do our white. So when you work with white, always work from the lightest color down. So now this is where you're going to see if your blend works, is in that transition. And as you can see, it is filling in the white spot, and it is dragging that color around. However, as you can see, it is dampening that color quite a bit. And then we're going to go into our transition here. Like so. So as you can see, it definitely does do the job. It moves those colors around, it blends them together very easily. However, there is a very opaque white to this, so it does show very, very white. It has dampened those colors quite a bit. Now let's do our cost analysis here. So these pencils are approximately, let's take a look here, I've lost my pen. Cost. Now, I'm just going to quickly take a peek on Amazon. And I know that they have a website of their own. I will have to look that up. Let's actually look that up. So, let's www.grizaye.com, and we'll take a look at the per pencil cost for the open stock. Okay. So on the back of the package is the Grizaye website, which is awesome. Let's see. Oh, they also have some classes, some downloads. So you can download the swatch chart, which is in number order in little circles. So that is available to you. Let's see. So the pencils run $49.99 for the full set on Grizaye.com. So that's the number that we're going to use. They've got some classes and that sort of thing as well, which is great. So 49. Of course, my pen is going to decide that it's going to stop. $49.99 is the cost, divided by 72 pencils. They also have a pink case for $20 as well, which is cool. And individual pencils, let's see, run 99 cents. There we go. Yeah. So you can buy all of them for 99 cents each. So that comes out to be $72 if you do it open stock, which is a little ridiculous, but and they're on sale for 99 cents each. They're regularly $1.49, which is a little high. But they do have open stock, which is really good. So let's do 49.99 divided by 72 works out to 69.43 per pencil. So it's 69 cents, almost 70 cents. 70 cents per pencil. So, and then the replacement is 99 cents. Well, let's go with the regular price because not everybody's going to catch it on sale. Open stock is $1.49. So it's cheaper. Well, depends upon how many pencils you need, I suppose. Um, so the full thing is cheaper to buy all as one to begin with. And then you can watch your open stock prices and possibly get them as low as 99 cents, which is what they are right now, or as high as $1.49, which isn't too bad. I've seen worse on open stock pencils, but I do find it is a little high. So our cost is $49.99. We've got 72 pencils, which comes out to almost 70 cents a pencil, 69.43. So like literally half a penny under 70 cents. So let's say 70 cents. The open stocks will range you from 99 cents to $1.49. So in my opinion, it's cheaper, it's better to purchase the entire set as one set and then add your open stocks as you need them. Just to keep your set complete. That's absolutely a perfect way to do that. A good pencil, they pass pretty much every test. They are a little bit, they do move a little bit with water. Not enough for it to be extremely visible. I do have to tip the camera so you can see it, but I can see it a lot better flat down. They do smudge. So I would have to watch them with my hands because obviously they smudge with my hands. They do a three-color blend quite nicely. They do complete the rainbow blend, so we do have red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. The colorless blenders, so this one here was the Caran d'Ache. This one here was the Derwent. And I would definitely say use the Derwent instead of the Caran d'Ache. The Caran d'Ache does put a layer of wax over top of your pencil, so it does give you a little bit more water resistance. So if you are going to use something that is very heavy in water, I would suggest using the Caran d'Ache, but put more pigment on the page. White works well as a blender as well. However, it is a very pigmented white. It's very opaque, and it does definitely dull down the colors and mute them out a little bit. Finally, the cost is $49.99, which is on the Grizaye site. So that's www.grizaye.com. You can also find different classes, different drawing classes, different things like that, as well as other accessories and the open stock for the pencils. So a great site to go to. In my opinion, for 70 cents a pencil for a lesser known, I'm not going to say lesser quality, but lesser known brand, might be a little bit more than some people are willing to spend. When I first put the Grizayes on my wish list when they first came out at Christmas, they were $19.99. And within the period of time just after Christmas and now, they've gone up to $50. So I think that the supply and demand is going to boost or plummet that price. So keep an eye on it. In my opinion, are they worth it? Yeah, they're a good pencil. They are definitely, and with all of the other pencils in this quality bracket, not knowledge bracket, not newness bracket. But in this quality bracket, I would definitely say that they are in par with a Derwent product or, you know, Polycolor, that sort of thing. So yeah, I think for $49.99, you're getting a good quality of pencil. With the fact that they have open stock availability, makes it a lifelong pencil. So it could be definitely a good set to start with and build a good good lifetime with a oil-based pencil. I wish they had more colors, of course. I like big sets, cannot lie. I prefer them to have lots of colors. So, but we do have a good variety of color. I'm going to switch you back over to the main screen here so you can see the variety of color better. We do have a fairly good variety of color. They do give us a few reds, like there's a good 5 reds there, which is really good. And plus these two down here, which are red brown, a deep red. So technically it's basically 7 or 8 reds. So that's really, really good. For any set to have that many red tones to them is really good. So yeah, that is my first impressions of these pencils. I have yet to color with them because, you know, with my back going out and everything else that's been going on, I have not had a chance to color with them. So I can't give you my honest opinion on how well they color. They will go into the cauldron as a selection, so we may see them in the next year or that sort of thing. I will play with them on something small and color something with them, just so that I can understand better how they work. On here, I do have the pinks out, so I'll quickly do this flower. Switch you over to the close-up here. Just very quickly, so I've got some, let's do the purple red as well. So we're going to use the purple for our dark area. And like I said, this is a layering pencil, so we're going to use a fairly light hand for our layers in order to build that color up and to make sure that the other colors have that that ability to function. Fill that in there. Now the reason why I'm using the purple is because I want the veining area and the shadow areas of the petals to be a little bit darker. Like so. To this area. Like that. Now we're going to go into bubblegum. And we're going to blend into that purple. And we're going to extend out from it. So this is going to tell me how well, A, that they color on this cardstock, and B, how well that they blend together. How many layers I have to put down to get the color saturation I want, plus how many layers that the paper is going to take of them. Because some pencils that you can layer for days without any problem. The paper will take it and take it and take it. Some pencils, they fill up the paper so quickly that you're not going to get as many layers out of them as you would something else. So far we've put 3 or 4 layers down between the two colors, and we will be adding more. I am getting a good blend between those colors, creating a transition color, which is good. All right, and now we've got to do this one here as well. Okay, and then we're going to use pink. Like so. All right, and then the final color that we're going to use, of course, is the blush. And we could have probably even gone lighter than this. But it is blending together. We are getting a good buildup of color. I'm still able to add more color to it. And it is blended quite nicely. So let's take our blender and see if we can blend all those colors together without making mud. And we're able to eliminate that white spot and provide that blend. Now another thing we can do, because the white is so opaque, if we did feel that the lightest color that we used wasn't quite light enough, we could definitely put some white into that, which would give us our highlight color. But yeah, they blended quite nicely. Did not require a huge amount of layers, but I do like how they layer. So very, very pretty. All right, so let's switch over here, and there it is. All right, so that is definitely, in my opinion, worth the $50. You know, it's $50 for 72 pencils, but like I said, they are available on their own website. They do have their own open stock. They do also have some coloring classes and that sort of thing. So if you are just starting out, going to the Grizaye.com website is going to give you a really good starting point. I like the fact that they have their own website, that they're not sending you to somebody else's website if they have lessons and that sort of thing. They are designed in the US, which is great. They are ASTM certified. They are manufactured in the Republic of China, and they conform to the ASTM D4236. They also have a Facebook as well as an Instagram, and you can also watch some demos about the product by taking a picture or scanning the QR code on the back. So a really good amount of information that is available from the company about the product, about where it's from, about where it's made, and that sort of thing, which gives me a great amount of confidence in the information. You know, there are a lot of companies I have purchased pencils from that give very little information. Most have a website listed on their product. However, their website is very minuscule and doesn't give you all that information. So I think they're going in the right direction with the way that they've done this. So I will keep an eye on them for other products, and I will purchase, of course, the open stocks as I use up the pencils. So again, Tammy, thank you so much for your wonderful birthday present. I appreciate it, and I did put it to good use. I did purchase things that I would use. So thank you so much for that. Okay, so with that, I would like to say thank you all very much for watching. Always remember to like, comment, and subscribe to any YouTube artist that you enjoy. And always remember to relax, color, and stay safe, everyone. Until next time, bye-bye for now.